Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about Grendel, which I think is fairly appropriate seeing as how my last video was on Gauss. But yeah, Grendel got treated with a pretty good new arcane with arcane persistence. I know that a lot of Warframes got that, don't get me wrong, but Grendel's one of the Warframes that really takes advantage of it, which is nice. Seeing as how with Nourish, since he has Nourish innately in his kit, his Nourish actually heals, so that goes perfectly well with persistence, so we don't really have to worry about an external heal or anything. He just has it, which is very nice. And then also talking about some newer things, this skin is really dope, and I really wanted just to show it off because I really like the whole like armored core-ish aesthetic that like this skin has with it. Big fan of it. But before we do get into the build here, just as like a heads up, I am a big fan of this big thick boy here. So as a part of that, yeah, I kind of put 3 Umbra Forma in him like back when his Prime first came out and did not hesitate with it. So yeah, the builds are going to be like pretty heavy investment because of the triple Umbra Forma in them, just as a little heads up here as we get into the builds. So let's start off with where we usually do here with the Archon shards. These are all going to be to taste, and then depending on like what you change with my build, these can change, I think, fairly dramatically. But what's worked for me is 2 Equilibrium shards, a max energy shard. I couldn't fit Prime Flow into like some of the builds. I can show you where to put it in, but I haven't had much need for it. And then I have 2 armor shards. So the armor shards are to get my armor over that like 1500 like hump, so that if you do get like heat procced or corrosive procced or whatnot, that your arcane persistence still stays active. And then this is really good for like the start of missions or even like in between missions where maybe you don't have a lot of enemies around you or you don't have anything in your stomach and you're not getting like the extra armor from the passive from when you're just eating people. So there will be like some downtime, and this helps to like cover that up. And then also for your primary, if you're choosing to run something like Bulwark or whatnot, then you're getting all of the benefit from that just right out the gate too, which is nice. You're not going to have like fluctuating damage or anything. So to go over the build here just really quick, growing power, more power strength, always good. Prime sheer footed is, just you don't get knocked down. Hard to say bad things about that. Transient fortitude, blind rage, power strength. This build's going to need power strength because of, well, what it is. Overextended is our entire range mod setup here. So I wanted a little bit more range, so I just went with the overextended, just not the max one, just 1 minus to get like 75 instead of the 90. If you want 90, you can go and throw it in here. It's fine. The triple umbral suite, like I was talking about earlier. Prime continuity for some duration. The arcane persistence, kind of the star of the show here. It's what keeps us alive and going. Well, that and stomping Nourish. And then arcane bellicose for a bunch of power strength because he is a big healthy boy. And then the mod that I just kind of glossed over being Gastro, being the augment for his 4. So what this does is, well, let's talk about his 1 first. So his 1, like I mentioned earlier, you just eat people and then they get stored in your stomach. So when they're stored in your stomach, you can then use your other abilities like Nourish and your Regenerate here, or Regurgitate, excuse me. So what Regurgitate's going to do is it's going to armor strip, and it's going to do... It would normally do toxin damage, like what you see up there. It says the toxin, but then because we got Gastro, it's also going to do that. It's going to do gas clouds, and those gas clouds, as you can tell by what I have subsumed here, they get affected by roar. So it's going to make a normal, just not that great gas cloud. It's going to turn it into a giant, just mustard cloud of chloroform and just disease spreading, just everything. Like they're not going to have a good time. Whatever you shoot this thing at, you know, whatever you eat and then projectile vomit onto something, they're just not going to have a good time. Like, everything's going to be melting. They're going to be screaming. It's just not going to be a good time. If this is how I run the build and how this has worked pretty damn well for me, honestly. If you wanted to fit in prime flow, like I was mentioning earlier, you're going to want to, well, you're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of power strength. If you don't want to go negative efficiency, then you can take out blind rage instead. But I haven't had too many issues, but that is where you would throw in the prime flow into this build if you really wanted to. I like having the extra power strength just so that the gas procs and everything just do more damage. The roar does more damage. The roar allows me to do more damage, excuse me. And then same thing for the nourish, I just get a lot of energy back because of the energy multipliers and everything else. So yeah, this is what I run. This is the primary build that I run, and this works pretty well. And it's, yeah, this is primarily what I run when I pick Grendel. I just eat people, roar up, shoot them, and then everything gets chloroformed and they go to sleep and die with, you know, like melting flesh and everything. Pretty awesome. Second build here is going to be Gloom. So very similar mods here, but since I don't have to use Gastro, I just opted to do Stretch, and then I did opt for a little bit less power, so that's how I was able to throw in the primed flow here, just because we are at like the 95% slow here with Gloom. But yeah, everything else is just basically the same. Gloom is just very easy to like maintain the health needs for persistence, especially with as much range as we have. And yeah, like if you think that you know, like constantly eating people and then casting the 2 for health is maybe like a bit much, I don't think that is personally, but if you are, then you might want to try the whole Gloom thing, because when enemies are inside the Gloom and you damage them, you will heal yourself, which again pairs very, very well with Arcane Persistence. So yeah, you are very, very hard to die, especially when enemies are basically coming at you at a snail's pace. But yeah, this shock and surprise, a Gloom build with Persistence and on Grendel is very, very strong. So yeah. And then lastly here, I have a Subsumeless build essentially with Meatball. So this is utilizing Pulverize. You're essentially just always in his little 3 here, his little Meatball. I've got the augment for his Pulverizer being Catapult, and you get to just launch yourself, and you're actually fairly fast with this. But yeah, this build is very much just for like funsies. Like I break this build every once in a while. I've got Summoner's Wrath here in the aura just so like my companions can just kind of do the work for me, so I can just, you know, have fun, be a meatball, eat people, shoot them things up, because I am running Gastro in here as well. Really wish I could fit Roar into like this somehow, but you can't. If you want to utilize the 3, you can't really take anything else off, because the 3 is like kind of the subsume ability. But like, yeah, this is a good bit of fun when I do feel like playing it. I will be showing off the whole like chloroform and like the Gastro with Roar and everything, because this is primarily what I use. And this also, because Grendel is Grendel and he has Nourish on him, and then this has Roar, you can also like super buff your companion as well. So if you wanted to, you could like run Summoner's Wrath over here on instead of the growing power. But I do believe that Summoner's Wrath also acts as like a similar bonus to how Roar is. So it would be a little redundant, but it would still be a lot of power strength or a lot of like damage that you'd be giving your companion. But yeah, I'm just going to be showing this off in the little demonstration here. And then as a part of the companion, because I mentioned that you can, you know, kind of buff him to hell and back with Nourish and with Roar, I'm going to be showing off Nautilus here. This is going to be the build for Nautilus to just do a bunch of damage and to just kind of be a complete menace to society. And yeah, then Gordon's going to be doing a lot of work for us as well, because he's just going to group people and then we can just shoot them we can shoot our regurgitate where he groups people and then they all just kind of like melt and die. And then this is the Verglass build. You don't need a ribbon, don't look at that, you never saw it, I don't know what you're talking about. But this would be the build that you want to use for the Verglass, and it's very, very strong. Verglass Prime is very, very strong. You don't need a ribbon. I just got a little lucky with like getting a companion ribbon and then it rolling into that. So yeah. You don't need a ribbon, just use Serration. You'll be more than fine, trust me. And then the weapons don't matter too much because we're mostly just going to be like spam casting, although you will want like a weapon to kind of deal with like some acolytes. Thanks to the 4 though, you can just armor strip them really quick, which is kind of nice. But let me show off the Praetos here. This is just like a movement tool just to make sure that this big thick boy can actually kind of move. And then I'll show off the I'll show off the Lex here. Here are the evolutions in case you haven't seen these. Show these off. There we go. I know, Ribbon, but you can just replace it like this, and there you go. And then you don't have to use Encumber. I just kind of do because of all the priming that we kind of have in the game. Deadhead works very, very well with the Lex, especially the Incarnate. You've got Cascadia Flare here. That's also really good. Secondary Fortifier, if you just don't really like Overguard or want more survivability options, that can also be really good as well. Merciless is always good. Like it's hard to really go wrong with like picking like a really good secondary arcane for the Lex. Like it just works with so many different things. But yeah, just pick what you want. I would personally recommend something like Deadhead, just because I think it does really well. I've got a Deadhead set up here myself, so yeah. And then we got the Phantasma Prime. Since I'm going to be showing off the Roar setup, the Roar is going to double dip like all of the damage over time effects that like all of these have, especially with Debilitate. So yeah, this is the Phantasma Prime is going to be doing a lot of damage because of that. And then if you notice that I don't have Viral on this weapon innately, I went for Corrosive because Grendel just always has Viral with easy access to him because, well, again, he is where Nourish comes from. He just always has access to Viral. So like whenever you cast Nourish, you're going to have the Impact, Corrosive, Radiation, Heat, Magnetic, and you'll have Viral. And yeah, it's gonna the Phantasma is going to do numbers. It is going to be very, very strong. And yeah, that's about it. Then I'm running Xenarek for a little bit of energy. All right, I think that covers all of it. Big fan of the skin. But yeah, let's show this off in a little 5-minute survival here. And yeah. All right.
Each enemy is more powerful than before. Only with true mastery of the ten of
come on, there we go.
Will you succeed?
Alrighty.
They have just shut
Need
down
to
all
wait
systems.
to eat a few
I'm sending life
guys.
support capsules
Aha.
your way.
Come here. And come here. There we go. He is always a hungry boy. And yeah, this is Grendel. And I'm hungry again. Like you always stay hungry being Grendel. But yeah, this is what Grendel's about. Just kind of eating people, stopping the yard, and then just vomiting things out. And let me just show off the Phantasma here because it can be. Oh yeah, they are melting.
Life support
Roar
on the
just
way.
double dipping everything. That is disgusting. Woo! Let's. Out of guys. No, I'm not. There we go. And then also with like having the armor shards and whatnot, you don't have to always have like a set number of like guys in your stomach either. You can just kind of just have like 1 or 2 or whatnot and just, you know, like roll with it. You don't got to worry about persistence going off unless you get magnetic proc or whatnot.
Capsule to the area.
Which, again, is
Activating
very,
it
very
will buy you
nice.
more time.
Grendel having the ability to have like both Nourish and Roar is just really strong. Which always bothers me when people say he, like, sucks. So I'm like, there's a lot of Warframes in this game that suck, and Grendel is not one of them. Like, I get the whole, like, not liking the whole, like, eating people shtick. But, like, Grendel's very, very far from being weak. That's for damn sure. There we go. There we go. Always hungry. Blank. Roar. Did not matter. There we go. That's the name of the game. Just always be hungry.
Life support incoming.
And then he's just getting, yeah, he was just getting tonked down because of all the gas procs. Yep, if they don't die on impact, then they die soon after. And there we go. That's Nautilus just being a little menace to society. There you go. Always stay hungry. Instead of always stay thirsty, it's always stay hungry, my friends. What? Whoop, whoop. There we go. Kind of get lost in the sauce. Let's use the Lex a little bit so I can get this thing charged up for whatever Acolyte we have. That should be fine. Come here. Come here. And eat. Oops. Yeah, like all of these gas clouds. Yeah, all these gas clouds. And then they get armor stripped on top of that. Like they get, like nothing here is having a good time except for me. Like they get armor stripped. They're in a bunch of gas clouds. They got a little annoying like tin can shooting at them and causing Lord knows how much damage and havoc. Like they're just not having a good old time. I'm having a blast though. That 116k, my goodness. Oops, I'm out of guys. Hold on. There we go. Select. Select. And here we go. Where'd he go? Oop. There we go. Didn't die for a second, but that's right. We got it.
Our operative is making progress. This will help our cause.
All right, man. That 5
Extraction
minutes
is
passed really
available
quick.
if you need it.
Alright, well, that is the end of our little survival. I hope you liked the video. I hope you give Grendel a shot. He's a lot of fun. I really, really like this Warframe a ton. And I think if more people just gave him a little bit of a shot, I think they'd like him. Granted, I think the ask for, like, 3 Umbral Forma is a tad much, so, like, I get it. But I just really enjoy the Warframe. Alright, well, if you stayed around this long, thanks for sticking to the end. Thanks for, listening to me blab. Hope you liked the video. Stick around for more. Later. Peace.